So one of the things they can't do from you is rent self-esteem and self-confidence. They need to become owners of that. And the only way to become owners is through experience. What I'll ask them is, what do you feel proudest of that you accomplished this week? Because the motivation for practicing doesn't come from me. It eventually has to come from you. You know, external motivation, pain motivation, is wonderful catalyst for getting the ball rolling. But it's horrible for keeping it moving. Eventually it has to turn to a pleasure-based motivation. Because we can certainly get into a power struggle with them, and if they're tweens and teens, we're probably going to lose unless we put a lot of effort into that power, right? So, sort of, I don't see it as giving up, I see it as surrendering, and to me there's a complete difference between giving up. Giving up is like, I'm done, and surrendering is sort of an acceptance. As a parent, I see myself as a shipbuilder, and I have roughly 18 years to make this ship seaworthy. And then we launch it off on its port with a nice bang of champagne, and it goes off, and it's going to navigate its own ports. The tools that are important to me aren't the tools of what to learn, which is curriculum. But more importantly to me, the tools are how to learn. Learning sucks, okay? Because learning, what it ultimately means is you're about to do something you can't do, which means you're going to fall off the bike and scrape your knees, and you're about to get hurt a little bit. You're going to be okay. But to give you this idea that it's always supposed to be fun, because what happens is, when it's not fun, you panic. I suddenly realized that I said, no, you know what, Brianna? You're learning now. I says, what you did for kindergarten and first grade was knowing. And there's a huge difference between knowing and learning.
Yeah.
Frustration is the #1 learning killer and learning obstacle as far as I'm concerned. Okay? So what do you, the question is, well, that's great, what do you do? One thing what you can do when you're frustrated is take a break. That break might be a minute, it might be an hour, it might be a day, I don't know. The second thing you can do is, I tell my kids this, you can ask for help from someone who may know more than you. Right?
I'm available.
Right. I have to know someone in the house, right?
My next door neighbor.
Right. Or what you can do is you can change the challenge so it's more appropriate. So those are the only 3 things you can do when they're frustrated. The key is to give them control over handling it, because I don't want them renting that information from me. I'm not always going to be there for them. But I want them to have the tool to use.